Good evening. Good evening. We are so thankful that you could join us here this evening here at the East County North Star. We are so delighted because we have a wonderful show for you. So just for the next few moments, we want you to sit back and relax, and we're going to talk about some issues that you need to know about. Today is May 25th, 2021, and 1 year ago, last year on this particular date in Minneapolis, a man by the name of George Floyd was murdered on a street corner in broad daylight 1 year ago. And so we want to keep the family in our thoughts and prayers, and remember that we have so much further to go. We need police reform. We here at the East County North Star are not against police. We are against bad policing. And so we need reform. We need a can't wait. We need to support our mayor on common sense police reform so that we can bring about equitable outcomes for all stakeholders. And so we are delighted tonight because we have a wonderful show tonight as advertised. We have a few guests here on the stage. With us, we have Miss Pat Young. Pat Young is the president of the Los Medanos College.
Los Medanos Community Healthcare District.
Community Healthcare District. So sorry about that. And then also we have Miss Denisha Marsh. What is your role?
I am a newly elected board director also.
Okay, director. So we have two elected officials tonight. So as the people are out there watching, and I know they looked at the flyer and they want to know more about you, tell us a little bit about yourself, Ms. Young.
I am a retired health educator. I have worked in health education for the last 4 decades, actually. And my area of focus was fetal infant mortality because the overall health of a community is indicated by their infant mortality rate. So I have worked for the last 20 years of my career in looking at those items that that are considered social determinants of health. So I have been a health educator I worked for the county of Contra Costa for about 10 years. I worked for private community-based organizations for another 20 years. So the majority of my work has been done working with low-income African Americans.
Thank you so much. And Ms. Marsh, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Denisha Marsh, and I have been what you would call a community activist for the last 13 years. I am currently on maybe 7 different boards, for the city of Pittsburgh, for the county of Contra Costa, for the Pittsburgh Unified School District, and I am also, like I said, newly elected to the Los Medanos Community Healthcare District. And the reason that I'm on so many boards are because I want to look out for our youth, our seniors, our disabled, and primarily our black and brown people who don't get the support or the resources that are out there. So I try to help educate to get them those resources and that support.
Thank you so much. And so we introduced everybody else, forgot to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Lamont Francis. I am the vice president of the East County North Star, which is a black online newspaper formed in the summer of 2020. And we are here to give viable information to the 47,000 plus African Americans living here in East Contra Costa County. And so we are thankful that you're here tonight. We are here to address some serious issues, but we want to learn more. I want some of the viewers to know more about the Los Medanos Community Healthcare District, who you are, what you do. What are some of the things that you do?
So LMCHD, Los Medanos Community Healthcare District, primarily funds small community-based organizations that would not otherwise receive funding from like the county or other grantors. We also have direct services for behavioral health and for seniors. We have Dr. Penn, who does our wellness for seniors and wellness and fitness, And so primarily, and the other thing we discovered actually during the pandemic is that we have become a community hub. We were able to link various community-based organizations with other community-based organizations to maximize their resources. And so we have become a hub for that. We also, during the pandemic, were the first in the county to start releasing information in Spanish. And so our website had tens of thousands of views, our Facebook page, because we were putting information out on COVID in Spanish and English.
Thank you so much. Can you tell me a little bit more about the district and what is your role, Ms. Marsh?
So my role is I am over programs, and what the programs are pretty much what Director Young said, that I focus on programs that have sexual health, disabilities for kids, eyeglass programs, just figuring out different things that we can fund to link, to fill the gaps, rather, that the county don't serve. So we have like an eyeglass program for kids so they can get free eyeglasses. We do scholarships so kids could learn how to swim, take karate, play basketball. We also have programs that help feed people. We have a program that supports the cancer and blind. We have a lot of programs that support quite a few seniors, not just through activities, but through programs to feed, to help with getting them Kindles, electronics, and different things like that. So we do quite a bit.
How long has the healthcare district been serving this community?
The healthcare district has actually been around since 1948, when it was originally a hospital. During that period of time when most small community hospitals closed because of lack of funding, that's when we sort of transitioned to doing what we're doing now. So it's been around for 73 years.
73 years.
The residents in the district pay a tax, the homeowners, the property owners, that goes directly to the district, and we use those funds to support the needs of the most in need in the district, those that are disenfranchised.
And so you've been around since the 1940s. This is something that is community-based. It is the heart of the community. Where are you guys located?
We're located at 23 Loveridge Road. We lease our building to the county, and that's where the Pittsburgh Health Clinic is housed. Let's
talk about, because we know there are marginalized communities out here in East County. What do you do specifically to really address the needs of the Black community?
Well, what we're really doing to address the needs of the Black community, for one, we provide resources, we provide the funding to the small community-based organizations. But the other thing we're doing is trying to educate around healthy eating, around the importance of activities, around presenting opportunities for those children who otherwise could not take swimming lessons, could not go to swim teams, they could not go to camps. And so we're trying to fill in the gaps and support those organizations that supply, that present programs for them. And one of the other things we do also is that we are probably the major contributor to the RotoCare clinic. And so that clinic is for people who are uninsured. And we provide money for medication, for medical supplies. So we are actually, I think, the major contributor.
Yes.
To that clinic.
So the healthcare district is a one-stop shop.
It is a one-stop shop. And one of our plans is to continue to grow so that we can leverage some of our funding to bring in other programs, other district programs. And so over the last 2 or 3 years, we've actually been doing that, and we sort of really rose to the occasion during the pandemic.
Wow, and that was going to be my next question. And did you see a surge of people coming during the pandemic?
Oh, most definitely, because what happened is because people were sheltering in place, a lot of the organizations were on, skeleton staff. So they, for example, Denisha was arranging people with vans to pick up food for other agencies and deliver it to their clients. So it really became a hub. And we also had, because we had a Spanish-speaking health educator on staff at that time, she was able to disseminate information to that community that was totally left out. And as you know, the Latino community was highly impacted, disproportionately impacted by COVID. And so she was able to bridge that lack of information.
They also did trainings for store owners in the small communities, the corner stores,
Wow.
where we provided plexiglass, we provided stickers, so they would know how to keep their customers 6 feet apart. They
Wow.
were also trained on, you know, hand sanitizing stations. We gave them sanitizers, we gave them PPEs, you name it, we did it, so they could continue to help the communities in their area with food services.
So this health care district has preserved thousands of lives.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think that we're impacting because, again, I can't say it enough. If you are not eating well and shelter is a problem, then your health is going to suffer. The thing that determines your health outcome more than anything else is where you live. And so we do have marginalized people in the district, and any agency that can help them sort of bridge that need, and that's what the district is doing.
So you're serving Pittsburgh, parts of Bay Point, there's certain parts of even Antioch.
Antioch, a small part of Clayton, and a small part of Concord. But primarily, most of the residents are in Bay Point and Pittsburgh.
Bay Point,
And one of the other things we do too that's really important, they've done all the studies on brain development and reading, and one of our grantees is Reading Advantage. And so we fund her agency, and she gives out books to pregnant parents, pregnant women, different organizations, because it's been shown that if you read to your child, it increases the development of their brain.
This is awesome. But we're here for something very serious. And I was doing some reading, and I want you guys to confirm some things. Is it true right now that there are certain politicians and special interest groups that are trying to close down the healthcare district?
It is absolutely true. They have been trying for a number of years to dissolve the district. I'm not sure of their motives, so I won't speak to that, but they have been trying. So a couple of years ago, they went before LAFCO. They pointed to the grand jury report that said our administrative costs were too high as a driving force to dissolve the district. And what the district did, we responded to the grand jury's report. We made all those changes necessary. Our administrative costs now are down to, for last year's budget and next year's budget, 22%, which is great. So because of LAFCO voting to dissolve the district, our only option was to get the community involved through signatures to say, regardless of how you feel about LMCHD, the district residents should make that decision. That building, that property, it belongs to the residents. It's an asset of the community.
It belongs to the community. Okay, so I'm going to throw out a statement. You tell me if it's true or false, okay? The community is not in support of the healthcare district. They don't even want it. Is that true?
That's false.
It's absolutely
How
false.
is that, Ms. Marsh? You tell me.
Because basically the people know what they need. It's a shame politicians have split tongues that always want to tell us how we should feel, what we should do with ourselves without asking. I don't see them in our communities. I don't see them at our centers. I don't see them at the shelters where the people are, asking them, do you need this support? I haven't seen them there. I haven't seen him talk to any of our grantees. I haven't seen him try to help any of our students that we're helping. So if I see him and I can tell that he, spoke to somebody, then I'd be like, oh, absolutely true. But the falseness of that statement is, I've never seen you in Pittsburgh, and I'm always in Pittsburgh, and I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think also you have to understand that that is just a tactic that's being used. If you walk into our district office, on the wall are plaques from Supervisor Glover and Assemblyman Jim Frazier praising the district for our work in the community. I mean, there's several plaques there.
Interesting.
So obviously, they're using this just as an inflammatory statement for whatever the reasons are to dissolve the district. But it's
So there's been no survey, no quantitative data to prove that the community residents do not want the healthcare district.
No, and what we actually do have, because we collected over 16,000 signatures of people who
Wow.
wanted to retain the district. Now, when we submitted them to the elections office, I think they threw out a large number of them because the signatures, whatever, and we ended up with a little over about 11,950 signatures of people who wanted to keep the district. There has been no indication from the district that anybody wants to dissolve it other than the politicians.
Other than the politicians. You guys are on prime property, okay? It is the hub of Pittsburgh. You guys on prime property. Do you believe there may be motives when it comes to I know we're speculating.
No, we are speculating, but
We don't know.
Well, I have an idea. We sort of do know, because a couple of years ago, a developer, Justin Tin, came to one of our meetings with the wife of the supervisor
Speak on it.
to look at our property. So,
We don't know,
from that
but
extrapolate, and he did say that he wanted to build housing for foreign students for Las Madonnas College, which is basically in our backyard. So we don't know, we have no idea what they want the property for.
We
But we
don't
know
know.
they want the property. It's not about the lack of quality of work we're doing, it's because they want it.
okay.
And they want it for free.
Wow. Here's the other thing that's floating out there. You tell me true or false. The healthcare district does not provide services to patients, or direct services to patients. That you guys do not provide direct services. Is that true?
What do you mean patients?
To-
I mean,
to-
like
to-
people in the hospital? No, we don't, but we partner with RotoCare, who treats people for high blood pressure,
Well, a patient would be anybody that comes in, right?
yes.
A
so
client.
A client, we do. We do have direct services. We have RotoCare that gives, blood pressure, diabetes, you name it, they do it.
You
And-
have nice glasses on. Could I get eyeglass? If I had a problem with my vision,
So,
could I get
yes, you
glasses?
can.
I can get
We
vision
do-
check.
Well, for seniors and for
students.
in Bay Point and in
Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh.
yes. So we do provide
I got
free
5 kids. I'll
eyeglasses.
be there.
Right.
So
I got 5 kids.
But the
go
other
to
thing
your
you,
school district and tell them that your kids needs glasses. They will contact us and we'll send you to get glasses.
as long as you're in one of those two school
As
districts,
long
it's
as
true.
you're in Mount Diablo School District and or Pittsburgh Unified, you get glasses.
And the other thing you have to take into consideration, though, we
Yes.
don't do direct services, but one of the things that definitely contributes to the health of a community is the overall health. And so that's all aspects of health. So all of these programs that we're funding are helping to improve the health of those residents. And the county's not going to do that. They haven't done it.
So these are individuals who cannot get into the county's probably healthcare system.
They can get into the county healthcare system. As I said before, Pittsburgh Health Clinic is housed in our building.
Okay.
So there are hundreds and hundreds of residents going in there. But the children in particular can't afford to take swimming lessons. They can't afford to go into dance. They can't afford to go into track. So the district is funding those programs that makes it easier. It facilitates those kids having what many of us take for granted for our own kids.
It's exercise for kids. We have a large population of obese children. We have kids with asthma and everything, and so a lot of the
Diabetes.
exercise
The
programs
diabetes.
that we do
Wow.
helps with their not only their mental but their physical health.
And I mean, it opens up a whole new world. It gives them the opportunity to dream and hope where they wouldn't otherwise have it. If you have 3 children, you can't send them to summer camp, you can't send them to swimming. And so the district provides scholarships to these various programs so these children can go. And all they have to do is present themselves with their address.
That's it. Okay. I'm going to throw this other one out there. You let me know if it's true or false. Contra Costa County, they can simply absorb the district's patients. Is that true?
Well, they can absorb, no, what they're going to absorb is our money. They are not going to absorb, because the county does not fund those kinds of organizations. They're too small. And they also don't fund, as far as I know, faith-based organizations, and we do.
You do?
We
Yes.
definitely do. We definitely do. We have one of our largest grantees feeds, provides meals to seniors and other people. So we give money for gas cards for people in Bay Point, the seniors. So no, the county is not, it's not a matter of the county, there's not that we have patience that the county's gonna absorb. Our residents are already part of the county system. What's gonna happen is the county is gonna absorb our money, and it may end up in Walnut Creek for all we know. We will have no control over it. The district residents will continue to pay their collective a little over $1 million annually, and it will go into the general fund for the county and go who knows where.
Who knows where? So the people are still being taxed, but now they have no control of
They
where
have
their
no
money.
control, no representation.
Here's another thing that's floating out there. You let me know if it's true. Over 60% of the district's budget goes towards administrative salaries. You guys don't know what you're doing down there. In terms of the administrative salaries, 60% goes to the administrators. And so they're not fiscally responsible. Is that true?
That is a lie. It's
Yes.
only 22%.
Well, I'm
for
gonna get struck down.
administrative
I'm in
costs.
church telling lies.
And not to throw anybody under the bus, but why would our government, our elected officials give themselves a raise and not the people of Contra Costa County if they want to talk about administrative cost?
Speak on it.
So that's just my point of view. If you want to talk about budgets, talk about the whole county. Don't talk about us. We're at 22%. Where's the counties?
Over 40%.
So 22% for the district, over 40%.
Yes.
For the,
Yes.
And the thing you have to also realize, which we didn't take into account until the grand jury's report, it wasn't that it was all going to administrative costs. What we weren't doing is we weren't noting how much of the executive director's time was actually spent in the community doing outreach activities. And so it should have never been straight administrative costs to begin with. And the county knows that, because once again, it's not what we're doing, they just want the property.
wow. Okay. Let's say there's somebody out there that says they need to shut down. LAFCO found something a few, back in 2017, and they did they investigated the place and found some things that needed to be fixed. Were those things fixed?
They were absolutely fixed. I mean, we welcomed the oversight of the grand jury. It was very illuminating for us because we just didn't know.
Okay.
I mean, we weren't accounting for the time and the money correctly in the sense that direct services were lumped in with administrative costs. So we took that information to LAFCO, and it's entered in the LAFCO minutes. I was looking at it the other day, and actually they complimented us on having corrected every single issue that was mentioned in the grand jury report, which further lets you know that it's not about what we're not doing right as the reason for being dissolved. They just want the building. They have told us. He has said, we want the building and we want it for nothing.
Okay. And so if you're listening out there, this is a very serious issue that we are dealing with. We're talking about over 97,000 people that will be affected by this, and most of these come from black and brown communities, marginalized people, poor whites, people that need these services that are out there. Let's talk about what's going on, California state legislator, and the bill that is currently right now going through there without maybe the knowledge of some of the people about how this wonderful resource would be closed. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Well, AB 903 was introduced by Jim Frazier because the district property actually sits in his assembly district. So it was introduced to circumvent the right of the district residents to vote, because the county is currently in court trying to appeal the decision that said that, yes, the district came up with enough signatures to bring it to a vote. The residents of the district should be allowed to vote. The county didn't like that, so the county went to court. They appealed twice, they lost. They're on their third appeal. So fearing that they're going to lose that as well, the politicians got together and decided, well, there has to be another way to do this. So we can just factor out the voters, factor out the residents, and we'll take it to the state assembly. And so that's why AB 903 exists. It's testing the waters of creating a blueprint to disenfranchise voters. If they are successful in pulling this off, they can use it for other things. And so that's what AB 903 is. It's a way to find out, can we actually do this and just discount the voters?
So I'm going to ask you this question, because I think right now we're really talking about the core of our democracy, right?
Exactly.
Taking away the voice of the common person, right?
Exactly.
This bill, as it's floating out there, do you believe that the community as a whole knows about this?
No, they absolutely do not know about it. Everyone I speak to that finds out about it is absolutely outraged, because even if you know, they're entitled to their opinion. There are people out there who might want the district dissolved. That's their opinion. But they all agree that the district residents who have been paying this tax since 1948 and own that building, they are the ones that should be able to go to the ballot and vote yay or nay, not people up in Sacramento.
So, okay, this is alarming. Okay, because we have local politicians that are doing this. Do you believe that this would happen in Clayton, San Ramon, or Danville? Do you think that this would happen there?
No. No, it wouldn't. Definitely wouldn't. Because, not to say the people of Pittsburgh or Bay Point aren't educated enough, but they don't follow politics the way those people do. And so when something comes up, they see it, they read it, they're at their county meetings and different things like that. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people who participate in those things.
Wow.
Because we are working class people where we have to be at work. So when a meeting is happening, 9 o'clock in the morning, most of the people in our communities are at work. So we're working class. We're not able to sit at home and twiddle our thumbs and be at every meeting.
And you have to also consider that people in our district, there are a lot of people who from day to day are worried about keeping the lights on, keeping the rent paid, keeping their kids fed. Those people don't have the luxury of attending meetings. They may not, you know, they may hear in passing that the district is under threat of being dissolved, but they live day to day under the threat of their families being dissolved. So they don't react in the same way. But when you organize them and when you inform them, they would go and vote. They do vote. And that's the problem for the politicians. They know they do vote, so they don't want them to.
Wow. So here we are following Stacey Abrams all the way out there in Georgia, and we are seeing how they're trying to subvert the will of the people out there in the state of Georgia. Mm-hmm. And this is happening in our own backyard. This is happening right here in East County.
In the most liberal state in the union. It's ironic.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Right?
It's insulting, actually.
So there has to be a movement. We have to do something right now. This is our time. The will of the people are being subverted. And it's because they're poor, they're working class, okay? In many cases, they're black or they're brown. And it's like their voices don't matter, right? And so what we have to do is come together collectively and speak up, and we have to speak out with this issue. Because if, as Ms. Young said, if we allow them to get away with this, this is only the beginning. It's not going to stop. This is only the beginning. And we have to hold, you say it was Jim Frazier, he is introducing
Jim Frazier.
Okay. So Mr. Frazier, here's my message for you. Sir, you've come to a lot of black churches. You come here, you come to any other one, we're just going to ask you, why? Juneteenth is coming up. If you are supporting this bill, and if you come to a rally, we're going to call you out. And we're going to ask you why. And we want you, we don't want to hear the flowery speech. What we want you to do is speak to the people that you're taking their vote and you're saying their black and brown votes don't matter. We want you to explain to them why you are taking away these resources from them without even allowing them to go to the ballot. Their voices do matter. We are not going to sit here and take this in 2021. So just know that if they didn't know, as Biggie Smalls says, now you know. If you don't know, right? Isn't that what they say? Now you know. All right. And so we have another guest, and she is going to join us shortly, that is going to be coming to the stage, and she's going to talk a little bit more about this subject. We have who we call the Viola Davis of East County. She is the NAACP East County president, Miss Victoria Adams. She's going to be joining us here on stage to talk more about the Los Medanos Healthcare District. All right. We all family here. Come on now. You got it. All right. There you go. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Miss Adams. I almost called you Miss Davis. Miss Adams.
Thank you, Dr. Francis.
All right, we may need another mic. All right.
So thank you, Dr. Francis. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
With everyone.
Let's talk about the healthcare district and the stance of the NAACP.
Okay. So the short of it is that the NAACP does oppose AB 903.
Why is that?
We do support the health district because we feel that it is the right of the voters to be able to decide whether or not they would like to have this health district dismantled. As a resident here in this county, in this community, I personally understand that.
How long have you been living in Pittsburgh?
Given I think we had this story.
Oh yeah, she
told
said,
the
I ain't gonna tell
story
my age.
before.
A long time.
But I've been here quite a while. In fact,
Yes.
I've been
That's
here
okay.
quite a while.
That's okay.
So I know about the healthcare district, and I remember when the hospital was on School Street. I've been here that long.
All right.
So yes.
You snitched on yourself.
Yes. So, but again, the stance of the NAACP is that the voters have the right to decide, to make that decision, and their votes, that process should not be circumvented. It should not be taken away. It's equivalent to disenfranchisement, and we just cannot have that.
The state NAACP, is that
And
their
our
stance?
state conference is supporting our position. That is correct.
So now, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Jim Frazier a member of the NAACP?
That is what Mr. Frazier said at the time that we spoke out against this bill.
Okay.
I'll say that.
There it is. Okay. All right.
And so if he is supporting this bill, which he is because he wrote this bill, then he is going against what our state conference is supporting.
Not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Not a good thing. Not a good thing.
And one thing I want the public to know
Yes.
is that these things move awfully fast and they're very fluid. So we don't necessarily, you just invited him to your church to come and speak to your congregation, but we don't know whether or not this is going to go to the Senate floor before Juneteenth.
It's true.
So we don't always have that information at our hands, at our fingertips, because we know now that it is moving towards the Senate floor, and it's moving very quickly.
Wow.
So I would encourage you to encourage the assemblymen to come tomorrow maybe,
Mm.
if not sooner.
So I was going to ask you next steps. You guys want to give me next steps? There are people out there right now that are outraged. There are people that are going to watch this in a replay. And they're saying, what do I do right now? Because what you said is absolutely true. These bills move through the House floor pretty fast.
You need to write your local senator. You need to write any and all senators and let them know if you are displeased with what is happening. That's one of the things that you as a community member can do. There will be rallies. There will be information that will be posted on a website, and that website is www.save Los Medanos Community Hospital District LMCHD.
Ooh, that's long.
.com. And so that's where you need to go to find all this information of
Yes.
what all of the next steps will be.
Yes, yes, yes. So, and also, as soon as we get word, we will post it on the East County North Star when the rallies do take place, because the people, from what I'm hearing, are outraged that this is happening, and you're going to have many more people after this broadcast. Ms. Marsh, anything else that we need to do? What can we do? Because we're ready to rock and roll. We ready to march. We ready to come on.
I would have you address your local supervisors. Ask them, what are they doing to support their communities? They're supposed to be our front lines of defense.
And so that would be Federal Glover.
Federal Glover, Candace Anderson, ask them, what are they
Okay.
doing? How are they supporting our people in the community? They're on the front lines. They're supposed to be on the ground in the community supporting us. What are they doing? Where are they at?
Okay, there it is. There it is. And so we'll definitely have the conversation. Ms. Young, anything we can do?
No, I think they summed it up nicely. I think that anybody that's part of an organization or is a grantee needs to contact LMCHD. We will give them the addresses and email addresses that they need to utilize to make their displeasure known and to insist upon the right to vote.
All right, go ahead.
Exactly, and that's what I was about to say. People really need to understand that this issue, and even though we do not want to lose our community healthcare district, this issue is really bigger than that, much, much bigger than that, because you do not want to lose. You do not want to have your right to vote circumvented. We are not, as you said, in Georgia.
Come on. Come on.
We are not that community where we sit back and allow something like this to happen. We are a liberal state, and our rights have been solidified by the Voter Right Act, and we don't want to give that up, and we will not give that up.
All right, all right. If we come together as a community and we're able to stop this from happening, we're able to preserve the healthcare district. When it happens, I'll speak it into faith, y'all. When that does happen, okay, what will be the message sent to the politicians? What's the message?
I think the message is that you have to walk what you talk. The politicians supposedly favor the democratic system, and they're going to have their comeuppance and realize they have to adhere to that.
Got you. Anyone else? Message to the people.
I just agree with what she said. Very well said.
All right. Anything? All right, she said, I'm going to be good today. Thank you, Ms. Marsh. She said, I'm going to be good today. We want to thank you so much for joining us. Again, there's something very serious going on right here. The will of the people are being taken away. Black votes are not counted. Brown votes are not being counted. Even poor whites, okay? The will of the people are being taken away by local politicians. This is bigger than blue and red and left and right. It's bigger than that. It's about the will of the people. And so we just informed you. We just hit, the alarm clock just went up. Please don't press snooze on this. Please don't press snooze. You can't afford to do it. Because whether you care about this district or not, you may say, I've never been there a day of my life. It doesn't matter to me. But there's something else that's coming down the line. Because if they get away with this, then they'll get away with that. Then you wish you would have got on to this. So even if you do not live in Pittsburgh, you got to say enough is enough. So we have to contact, we have a plan of action. We have to make sure that you contact Jim Frazier. Now, what if somebody says Jim Frazier is not running for re-election? Do we still say something? Do we do?
Yes.
But he's not running for re-election.
Yes. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. He may not run. He may endorse. He may not run. He may have someone that he knows that he will be pushing to run.
And we also have to understand that there are factors behind Jim Frazier that led him to this bill. I don't think he came up with this on his own.
So it's probably not, yeah. Well, I know as a pastor, they say the love of money is the root of all evil, right? Not just money, the love of it. Okay, so if we want to follow corruption, always follow the money trail. Oh, you gonna say something? She says, oh, look at that, look at that. Mama say, you ain't got nothing good to say? Don't say anything at all. Good home training, good home training. But we want to thank you so much for being such a patient audience. But again, are there any numbers, websites that you want people to go to as we sign off? Any numbers or websites?
Again, just remember, for additional information regarding this matter, you can go to www.savelmchd.com.
All right. Any websites?
That would be it.
All right. Well, this has been an informative hour. Thank you so much for paying attention tonight. Thank you so much, Ms. Marsh, freedom fighter and ride or die out there in the streets advocating for our people. Thank you so much. We have the Viola Davis of East County, Ms. Victoria Adams, elegant, suave, and she don't play that stuff. She doesn't play that stuff, and I'm so glad that she was able to come. Ms. Pat Young, you are a treat. You were very informative, very classy, just the way you presented it. Thank you so much, like a Mary McLeod Bethune, like that spirit is on you. Thank you so much for all that you do for the residents of East County and Pittsburgh, and just know that your work is not in vain. You will be blessed.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for giving us the opportunity, the vehicle to the venue to get this information out. That is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, thank you. And your granddaughter's in the audience. You want to go ahead, Lisa, and just wave to her.
Hello, Aaliyah.
All right.
That's
That's
my sidekick. She keeps me honest.
We always want to acknowledge the young people. On behalf of the board of the East County North Star, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We will come back on the air next month, and I will let you guys know who the next is. I think we have someone great. We have great matriarchs on the stage, and I think we will try to do something with the young people next month. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And so until the next time, we wish you love, peace, and soul. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night. Take care.